Oh, now, this is a story all about how local soccer media got flipped, turned upside down. And we like to take a minute, so grab a beer so cold, and we'll tell you how we became electric gold. In White House, Tennessee, born and raised on the soccer fields was where we spent most of our days. Reading Mad Magazine and riding our bikes with a known propensity for rocking the mic. Now we're a trio of guys who are getting kinda old, cheering on the boys and gold with every bit of our soul. Screaming our heads off while drinking some beers, hoping to give Cincy and Miami something to fear. Now Evan, John and Ryan are kicking the facts about Nashville SC, and they'll never come whack. If anything, we can say the show is rare. Acoustic blue and electric gold, the only colors we wear. We pull up Degoties about 7:38, and we yell to the refs, yo home, smell you later. We look at the castle, we feeling so bold. We sit on our thrones, we're electric gold.
Hey everybody, it's Electric Gold. I'm Ryan. I'm here with John and Evan. And guys, I came away from this weekend feeling quite satisfied. Game in Atlanta was satisfactory.
It was efficient.
What about you guys? Were all your needs met this weekend?
Just so.
Well, mostly.
Great.
There's a few needs that weren't there, but
well, we can maybe get into that later, or maybe not at all. Maybe we shouldn't even go there. But glad to have you listening to us this evening. It's Sunday evening. We played Atlanta yesterday. We're going to get into all of that about the game, talk about what we liked and didn't like and everything else. But before we do any of that, boys, it's time to talk about what we're drinking this evening. So, John, what are you having?
I'm having a fancy beer today. And first of all, I have to pay tribute to our good friend and rules analyst, Dr. Joey, who brought this beer to me. He was in the good city of Knoxville this week, and he brought me a beer from Zool Brewing Company in Knoxville. And once again, I've had a Zool before, and if they're not named after the gatekeeper from Ghostbusters, they're really missing a trick there, but I don't know that they are. This is called Tiny Umbrellas. This beer is stuffed with mango, guava, and pineapple. Basically, It's so tropical that I kind of want to drink it out of a hollowed out coconut.
Nice.
It's just tastes like a straight up flavorful drink. I barely taste like beer at all. It's like it tastes like something you get at Applebee's or something.
Maybe put a little umbrella in it or something.
Exactly. That's the point. Tiny umbrella.
Mm-hmm.
We're recording this on Sunday. It's like 50 fucking degrees outside, which is not cool for May.
No.
I had to put on pants today, and I don't wear pants from April to November. So I was mad about that. So I wanted a beer that felt like a day at the beach, and this is doing the trick.
Wonderful. Sounds delicious. Evan, what are you having this evening?
Yeah. Hey, guys. Good evening to you. Always a privilege to be here with you tonight. I'm having a Tiny Bomb by Wiseacre Brewing out of Memphis. It's a pale American Pilsner that's slightly sweet. It's balanced and smooth, but boom! It has a generous infusion of wildflower honey that really sets it apart. So anyway, that's what I'm having, and I'm really enjoying it.
Sounds great. We always love the Tiny Bomb. Myself, I'm having a selection from Monday Night Brewing, which is located in Atlanta, Georgia. Thought I'd tip my hat to the folks that we played this weekend. Your airport sucks, but your beer is pretty good. This is the Blind Pirate Blood Orange IPA. It's named Blind Pirate because blood oranges were a frequent delicacy or food that pirates ate when they were on the high seas. It was a common snack or food that they had. So this is a juicy IPA with infused with that blood orange flavor. And they even blend bits of real blood orange in every beer. So it's authentic. It's not any sort of artificial flavors and sweeteners. It's real blood orange getting used in this. And it's a delicious beer. Guys, I'm glad to be drinking it this evening and talking soccer with you guys. So cheers.
Cheers, boys.
Cheers, boys.
All right, with that, let's get started with a little bit of week in review. This past weekend, Nashville SC made the short drive down I-24 to Atlanta, where they faced off against the United on Saturday afternoon. The boys in gold hope to follow up their scoring explosion from a week earlier with another big offensive performance on the road, where they've had little success this year, having won only once in 5 tries. Atlanta has struggled to find success this year, having only 2 wins so far in the season. However, both of those came at home, so the United entered the match optimistic about their chances. BJ Callahan hoped to repeat the magic from the previous week's game against Chicago by rolling out the same starting lineup for Nashville, but the team got off to a sluggish start. Atlanta was the aggressor early on in the match, generating more scoring chances overall in the early minutes of the game. Nashville struggled to stay on offense, passing sloppily and turning over the ball frequently. That led to several Atlanta opportunities, and in the 20th minute, the home side struck pay dirt. A chaotic play that involved Joe Willis coming out of the goal to deflect one shot resulted in a putback by Miguel Almiron that put Atlanta up 1-0. After that score, though, Nashville seemed to settle into the game, controlling the ball much more confidently. Atlanta seemed content to pack their defense and park the bus, while Nashville tried to find a way into their attack. The half ended without much more fanfare and with Atlanta ahead by 1. In the second half, the visitors took the field with much more authority and energy, easily commanding possession of the ball throughout. In the 66th minute, Hadi Mukhtar lobbed a corner kick in front of the Atlanta goal, and left back Dan Lovitz was there for a terrific right-footed, one-touch shot across to the left corner of the goal, evening the score at 1. The rest of the half played out with several chances for Nashville as they dominated possession, but none could be converted. The match ended in a 1-1 draw, with Nashville picking up a point on the road. NSC still sits in 6th place in the East with 5 wins, 4 losses, and 2 draws, and a goal differential of +6. Meanwhile, Atlanta continues to struggle, slipping to 13th place in the East with just 2 wins, 5 losses, and 4 draws, and a goal differential of -8. So guys, you can't win them all. You can't score 7 goals in every game. This game on the road, we picked up a point on the road. So you can't be completely disappointed. What were your feelings on this game, Evan? What's your initial thoughts?
Well, initial thoughts, or at least my thoughts right now, about 24 hours or so afterwards, were, like you said earlier, satisfied. It's generally a pretty good result to get a tie on the road, especially against such a rival like Atlanta, who was going to get up for Nashville. But boy, in the moment and in the immediate aftermath of the game, gosh, was I disgusted. I mean, especially that first half. That was some of the worst soccer I have seen us play in a long time. And it's no surprise that we had a come down after the 7 goals against Chicago, but it is very difficult to believe that it was the same group of 11 players. But anyway, I digress. I think I have settled into now just feeling like that this is, what? Say it with me. A tie that feels like a win.
Yeah. A tie that feels like a win. John, do you concur?
Yeah, we got to put that on a t-shirt.
For sure.
Yeah, I really felt pretty good about this one. I thought we straight up played some sexy football in that second half. We dominated a team. Let's not forget, this team spent $50 million in transfers this offseason, which is more than Nashville SC has spent in its entire existence. And nearly all the experts had Atlanta finishing somewhere in the top 4 in the East this year. Obviously, it's not turning out the way they expected, but they didn't even look like they belonged on the field with us in the second half. It's a shame that we couldn't put away a win because we had a few good chances there. And unfortunately, Gazan made good stops on them. I feel pretty good. I think the first half can be, to me, it felt like they were possibly overcompensating from the Seattle game. Like we kind of went into Seattle game feeling fairly good about ourselves and got blown out right away. And maybe they were wary of that and kind of played on the back foot a little bit. And I think in the future, we got to learn we don't have to do that. We can take it to these teams from the get-go and be fine, just fine. And if we play like we did in the second half, we're going to win a lot more games than we're going to lose.
Yeah, I think Atlanta, though it doesn't reflect in their record, they are, I think, 4th in the league in generating key opportunities or good scoring opportunities. So they just haven't been able to bring it home. And who knows what the reasons are for that? Maybe they're lacking some chemistry amongst their team. Like you said, they spent a lot on this team and it hasn't all come together. But it's not like they're as bad as their record reflects. I don't think.
Yeah,
and so I believe that netting a draw on the road against that team is a fine result. I was completely prepared mentally to go in there and lose like 2-0. After being so high last week, I was like, there's no way this team is not that consistent and we're going to see us get knocked back down a peg. And that's kind of how I felt after the first half too. I was like, okay, here we go. This is what I expected. But I think the team came out with a lot more fire in the second half. And man, there were stretches where Atlanta just didn't touch the ball for minutes at a time.
Yeah.
I mean, we were just messing around. You could just see it all come together, and they were really packing their defense tight.
Yeah.
But you could see how we were probing them really well, moving the ball from side to side, finding those angles, finding those ways in. And we eventually started to really get there. And I forget, we had like maybe 8 corner kicks to their 2 or something like that. And we won the possession battle 60% to 40%, which you never used to see that.
Yeah.
And then what was the big stat that I sent you guys after the game? The passing.
Something like 600 something passes
to their 300 and something. I mean, we almost had twice as many successful passes as they did. So it was an important game, I think, for Nashville because it just continued to establish the chemistry of those players on the field, continue to establish our identity, our strategy. Like you said, John, if we play most games like we played that second half, I think we're going to be a very successful team the rest of the season. Let's get into finding out what your favorite things for this week were. Let's do, oh, hell yeah. Nevin, we will start with you. What was your oh hell yeah moment for the week?
Okay, well, I got to give this to our man, Daniel Lovitz. I mean, he just continued to absolutely be the man for this team. He has never scored more than 1 goal in a season, and he already has 2 this season. On top of that, he's got 3 assists. This puts him first among defenders for contributions in MLS. I mean, he is the man. So, yeah, the fact that he continued to play good defense, that he did his darndest to contribute to the offense, even when most of the rest of his teammates were completely out of sync, and then being there, being in the right spot, and getting that crucial tying goal for us, I was just like, oh, hell yeah, this guy is unstoppable.
Yeah, he's like a man reborn this year, right?
He really is.
It's a Lovitz-ance.
Last year, I felt at times, well, first of all, he kind of lost his job for a little while to Taylor Washington at the start of last season. And there were times last year that I thought maybe Taylor should be playing ahead of Lovitz. No such worries this year. Dan Lovitz has nailed down that position. I haven't watched all 32 MLS teams to be authoritative, but I have a tough time believing there's too many better left backs in MLS right now than Dan Lovitz. He's Mr. Consistent so far.
Totally agree. And I also want to just note, hey guys, we're making corner kicks actually count.
Yes.
Who would have thought?
Amazing.
2 weeks in a row.
Oh, it's great.
You know, I don't know about you guys, but I read in one of the post-match articles that Lovitz actually asked Coach Callahan if he could stop taking corners and be in the box for them because he believed in his ability to contribute in there, and it's paying off. So first of all, a lot of respect to him for stepping up and making that request and then following through
Delivering.
on it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Secondly, I can't help but wonder why we don't do the same with Hani. Now, Hani is making better corner kicks. There's no doubt about that. But it goes back to what I've often wondered, why not have him in the box too?
Well, you know, he's your most dangerous player. You'd think you'd want to put him in a position to do the most damage. Putting him way off in the corner rather than in front of the goal seems like it's not using him to the best of his skills or best of his strengths. So maybe you're right. Maybe more Tagseth on the corners, and let's see Hani and Lovitz both in there, doing all the crazy stuff that they can do. John, what's your oh hell yeah moment this week?
You know, we might as well just make a recording of this and just play it every week. Oh, hell yeah, Eddi Tagseth.
Yes.
This guy, oh my God. Literally, we say the same fucking thing every week, but like he's everywhere. He's awesome. We basically got a budget Tony Kroos is who we got. You know, the Real Madrid superstar. I can't believe we got him. I can't believe, you know, he was playing in the Norwegian league before we got him. He played at Liverpool's academy, and how did they mess up letting him get away? You know, I would have thought somewhere in England somebody could have used a guy like this. But I'm glad we got him because he is awesome. My biggest all hell yeah was actually the 92nd minute. There was a chance. I think we had a corner or free kick, and Atlanta had a chance to break on us. They had kind of an advantage. And Eddie comes out of nowhere and just crunches this dude in midfield, takes the ball away. The guy sits down on the turf. Eddie passes to Sam Surge. We actually got a decent shot and ended up going to the keeper. But Eddie, dude, oh, hell yeah. I love you. I love watching you. It's so exciting to have a player of this magnitude running our midfield. We're so lucky.
Amen to that. Eddi Tagseth has been a revelation. This team would not be nearly as good as they are without him. I can't tell you for sure how many decisions he's influenced, but I've got to say he's been good for at least a win or two already just by his presence on the field. And certainly when he hasn't been present, I think that's influenced the game in the other direction.
Yeah, absolutely. At least in basketball and hockey, there's a plus minus stat. I think when he's off the field, we're 0-5. Like zero goals and 5 against.
Oh, wow.
That leaves, I think, like a plus 10 or something when he's on the field.
Mm-hmm.
Come on. That's not coincidence.
Yeah. And even for the casual soccer fan, again, I think we talked about this several weeks ago. Just watch the game. Just watch Eddi Tagseth and don't watch anything else. You will be amazed at the incredible, the play and how much he's influencing everything. He hasn't gotten a score yet or anything, but he's making it all happen. And he's also preventing anything negative from happening. So by just controlling possession and whatnot, and I continue to believe as well, him plus Yazbek, that is an incredible midfield right there. Those two are gelling really, really well.
Yeah. I'm going to go ahead and start a GoFundMe for the Eddie Cam.
Yes. That would be a fantastic.
You guys contribute. We guys contribute to my GoFundMe.
Sure. I'm good for $5. It'd be great to put just a GoPro on Eddie and just watch from his perspective the whole game. Wouldn't that be fun?
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
You'd be exhausted. You'd be exhausted just watching.
You would. You'd be so scared because you'd see like a big guy running at you with a ball. And he just runs right into them. You're like, what?
No fear.
How did you survive that?
Yeah. It'd be like one of those VR rides at Disney World or something, where you're careening into the side of a mountain and then all of a sudden turn away.
Oh, see, now you're really tapping into, one of my great loves. I told y'all about theme parks or movies about theme parks a few weeks ago. And, I love theme parks. What if there was an NSC, or I guess probably just more largely a soccer theme park, but one of the rides was Virtual Eddie. And you just went through a whole game as Eddi Tagseth. Wouldn't that be fun?
That's edge of the seat stuff. Yeah. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Well, speaking of those favorite things, as you all know, for each goal scored this year for Nashville, we are taking turns selecting one of our favorite things. And John, it's your turn this week.
Woo-hoo.
We got one goal. We got the Lovitz goal assisted off of the Hani corner. And so in honor of that, do you have a favorite thing you'd like to share with us?
I absolutely do. And my favorite thing is a Nashville institution for me anyway. And I would hope it's in most of our hearts. It's the Belcourt Theater. I absolutely love the Belcourt Theater. I especially love midnight movies at the Belcourt Theater. So this is kind of a thing that I love that I don't get to do as much anymore because I'm old. If it's after 7 o'clock, I ain't going out too often. But I have been to many a midnight movie. I absolutely love, these kind of random cult movies. 3 of my early dates with my wife were midnight movies at the Belcourt, and they were all very formative. One was Pee-wee's Big Adventure.
Mm-hmm.
We went to see, and that's one of the funniest movies of all time. I mean, just joy throughout is what Pee-wee's Big Adventure is. And that's so much fun to watch at 2 o'clock in the morning. like you're bleary, you're losing your mind, you're ready to sleep, and this maniac is up on the screen going,
Yes.
You can't beat that. Another one that we went and saw is a cult classic, possibly the worst movie ever created, The Room. Have you guys watched The Room?
I don't think so.
No.
Oh my God, you have to watch The Room. You cannot even begin to comprehend how bad The Room is until you see it. And it's become a midnight classic. I can't even, oh man, I can't believe y'all haven't seen The Room. I can't believe I haven't forced you to see The Room. It was made by this guy named Tommy Wiseau sometime in the early 2000s, I believe. He was an immigrant from somewhere. His accent sounds Eastern European. He may be actually a vampire, but somehow he got a huge amount of money, and he decided that he was going to make, to him, the next Tennessee Williams film. Except that he had absolutely no talent for directing in any way, but somehow he had a budget, and the thing actually looks decent at times, but like it's batshit insane.
Oh, wow.
There's a famous scene where he walks into a flower shop and pets a little doggy. There's scenes where characters throw footballs to each other from like 2 feet away, like running beside each other in a park. And so the midnight movie part of this, people run down the aisles throwing footballs at tiny distances to each other. There's also framed pictures in the house, in the room, the aforementioned room, that are just forks. Just framed pictures of forks for no explained reason.
Yeah.
So people bring plastic forks and throw them up in the air.
Oh, I love it.
It's the grand old time. The next time The Room is showing at midnight, you got to get your ass down there at Belcourt.
Absolutely.
The third classic is obviously the midnight movie that started it all, Rocky Horror Picture Show.
Mm-hmm.
Me and my wife went and saw it together and absolutely fell in love with the cult of it. And of course, the Rocky Horror, if you've ever been, there's actually actors that kind of act out what's happening on the screen down in front of the stage. It's like a live performance plus a movie being shown. And my wife actually acted in those live performances for many a year after we went and saw at the Belcourt, and
cool.
had a grand old time with it. So yeah, I love midnight movies, and I love the Belcourt Theater. Even if you're not, going to midnight, like there's constantly interesting things they show all the time. All kinds of random weird cult movies or underground movies or independent movies that you're not going to see anywhere else. And the Belcourt is an independent theater, of course, and they absolutely deserve your support because they're an institution that I really don't think Nashville could lose. We've lost so many these independent things that kind of made Nashville what it is. We lose in a lot of music stuff all the time. Let's not lose the Belcourt. Support the Belcourt. Anytime you want to see a movie, an interesting movie, get your butt to the Belcourt. There's always something good showing.
Yeah, Nashville used to have a number of these theaters back in the early part of the 20th century throughout the city. And Belcourt is the one that has survived, whereas the others have been torn down or changed into different types of businesses, whatever. But the Belcourt remains. And so it is a city institution. It's very important. It almost got closed down probably about 15, 20 years ago, something like that. There was a real surge of support from the community, and people really came together to ensure that it stayed open. And we just want to continue to give that support. I caught a real pain there recently, or I guess it was probably a few months ago, the Jesse Eisenberg and Kieran Culkin movie.
Oh, yeah.
Culkin ended up winning an Oscar for the movie.
Yeah.
We went and saw it, and it was terrific. It's a couple of Jewish guys who go on a trip to visit a concentration camp. They go tour it and everything because I guess they had a grandmother or something that had been there. And it was a funny movie and a tragic movie and everything in between. It was really good. And that's the kind of stuff you can find at the Belcourt all the time. Or you can even watch the Goonies there. They play the Goonies sometimes. So whatever you want.
I missed out on they recently showed my favorite movie of all time at midnight, but I only found out like 2 hours before it happened. Hot Rod.
Hot Rod.
Hot Rod.
That is such a good movie.
I love Hot Rod. It's so stupid.
Me too.
It is so stupid, and I quote it all the time. But I found out they were showing it at midnight at the Belcourt, and they actually had an intro from James Austin Johnson, a guy from Nashville who's on the cast of Saturday Night Live right now. And I really regretted missing that. I would have absolutely loved to go. So, yeah, keep an eye out. They're always showing funky stuff.
Excellent.
Well, John, if they ever show killer clowns from outer space at the midnight movie, count me in.
We're in. Yeah, we're going to be there.
Hell yeah. Okay. That was an excellent addition to our favorite things list, John. But now let's move on. It's time to get real spicy. It's time for the Nashville Hot Chicken Takes.
My hot chicken take is that these owners got skills to shake. Entertain the crowd and get on the field. 'Cause why the fuck not?
John, we'll put you up first. What's your hot take for this week?
All artificial turf everywhere in the universe should be destroyed. And anyone that tries to make a soccer game happen on it should be put in prison. That's my hot take. I hate soccer on artificial turf.
Yeah.
There are 6 MLS teams that play on it. We've already played 3 games this season on it. We've got 1 point from those 3 games. That was Seattle, Atlanta, and Charlotte. And I hate the stuff. It doesn't make for great soccer. The ball bounces too much. It's just ugly, and it hurts players. And I hate it so much. And luckily, we only have 1 game left this season on turf. It's at New England at some point. So if you think about it, we are 5 wins, 2 losses, and 1 draw on actual grass.
Wow.
Which is what God intended us to play soccer on. So playing within the boundaries of God's intention, we're like 3rd in the East, I think.
We're basically God's team. This is what you're saying.
Yes, that's exactly what I'm saying. Maybe that should have been my hot take. God wants Nashville SC to win. That'll get us somewhere.
Well, I agree with you. I hate turf in all sports. And
yes,
I think the thing I hate about it the most is it's more likely to invite an injury than regular grass, and players seem to have more trouble with it. There have been, over the course of certain sports, players over the years that seem to thrive on turf, but they are few and far between.
Yeah.
You're right. The ball bounces differently. It's just a different game on turf. It sucks. I'm 100% behind you. Let's get rid of all artificial turf. We should start a GoFundMe to get rid of all artificial turf.
Well, the only reason that it exists is, like so many of our society's problems are because rich people are too fucking cheap and don't want to pony up for, a groundskeeper.
Mm-hmm.
Pony up, bitches.
Yeah, that's right.
Make life better for everybody. We'll play soccer on grass.
I agree. You don't deserve to have a soccer team if you can't have it on grass.
That's right.
All right, Evan, have you got something spicy for us? What's your Nashville hot chicken take?
Yeah, my Nashville hot chicken take is that we are God's team. And also, because of that, we're not going to lose a single match in the merry month of May. Now, boys, we might have a tie here or there, but the resolve that I saw in the second half, the difference between that side's mentality and just the side that took the field in Seattle is a different thing. Even if we go down, we are not going to give up. We're not going to give in. We're going to keep fighting. Coach Callahan's going to make these little adjustments here and there, bring on key subs perhaps later in the match, and we're going to get that tying goal, if not the winning goal. Guys, write it down. It's spicy, but you can take it to the bank. We're not going to lose a single match in the month of May.
Oh, wow, I love that. All right, so let's just go over it. We have 8 games, including the one we just played, in the month of May. Perhaps more, depending on how the U.S. Open Cup goes. Obviously, if we're successful there, we're going to have more than 8 games, right? Wouldn't that be right, John?
Yeah, we would play a 9th if we win that first game.
Exactly.
Yep.
So first game, draw against Atlanta, just like you said. That was on the road. The next several games are at home. We've got this Tuesday evening, our first Open Cup game against Chattanooga. We should win that. No problem.
Yeah. Come on. Yeah.
Then next weekend, we're facing off against Charlotte. Rematch. Earlier this year, they beat us in Charlotte on turf. Let's not forget, 2-1. That was the game that Zimmerman got injured. We were winning that game until he got injured, and then everything fell apart. I think we're set up well to win that game. And that's going to be an important game. We'll talk about it later. Then Red Bulls come to town next week. Again, a tough team, but we could certainly draw. We could certainly win that. Then we host DC United. We go on the road for the next two games versus Toronto and then versus Columbus. That Columbus game could be pretty tough. And then we come back home and host New York City FC. So those are our opponents in May. This is not a slouch schedule. It's got some interesting opponents. So if we can do right by your prediction or your hot take, Evan, we're going to come out of May looking like one of the powerhouses of the Eastern Conference, if not the whole MLS. If we can get out of the entire month without one loss, what an accomplishment that will be.
Yeah, if we do that, which includes at Columbus, and we don't lose there, put your money on this team because they winning, baby.
Columbus is first in the East right now. That's going to be the toughest one. Charlotte, of course, is fifth in the East. They're ahead of us. New York City is seventh in the East. The Red Bulls are 10th. They haven't had the greatest of year, but I think that we play them to a draw earlier this season. Am I remembering that correctly? Or did they beat us?
They beat us 2-0.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, New York. Yeah.
DC United, they're further down. They're 12th in the league. So, there's going to be some tough ones there. And, we're going to have our A game. But this team is looking great, especially, like we said, after that second half. They're resilient. Even when they get down, they're not giving up.
And we've got some depth that we've not had before. Mm-hmm. We've got better options coming off the bench. And, I don't know what the timeline is on Zimmerman, of course, but I think it's reasonable to believe we might have him back before the end of the month. Tyler Boyd, maybe he starts working back. I don't know about that. But regardless, again, we have options off the bench that we have never had before. So, I think it's going to happen.
Wonderful. I love it. I think Evan's got the spiciest take, not going to lie. I think everyone already hated artificial turf, so...
Yeah, that was easy.
That's super spicy.
That was fish in a barrel.
All right, guys. Well, let's look ahead then to our week in preview.
Did we want to do Aw Hell Naw?
Yeah, we skipped Hell Naw.
I think we forgot it.
Oh, holy hell.
Does it make it easier for you, editing-wise, to try to go ahead and do it or not?
Or maybe we just throw it in like this.
Yeah, maybe so.
I am the worst host in podcast history. I can't believe I forgot. Oh, hell no. I'm so optimistic about this team, guys.
I love it.
I could not even get my mental state ready for it. Oh, hell no. Yeah, we need to do Oh, hell no. Evan, thank you for reminding me. Why don't you go ahead? What's your Aw Hell Naw moment for this week?
Okay, well, my Aw Hell Naw moment this week was Big Joe making Atlanta's best pass of the night for them. And in the moment, I was just like, are you kidding me? That's where you punch the ball. But then, I kind of watched the replays and saw that he took a pretty good lick in that play. Maybe that's what caused it. But regardless, when I saw Big Joe punch the ball to the one spot on the field that was the least advantageous for us, I was like, oh, hell no. Are you kidding me?
Yeah.
I really didn't like his positioning in that whole sequence. I didn't like him coming out like he did and continue to have a lot of thoughts about Joe Willis and love the guy.
Yeah.
But I'm getting more and more skeptical all the time about his presence in the goal. John, what's your Aw Hell Naw moment for the week?
First, I do want to talk about Joe.
Okay.
And my keeper analysis, because I'm always watching keepers. To me, the punch obviously wasn't great, but the worst part of the play was his recovery time. And that's something that keepers, we work on all the time. It's not necessarily the first play, it's the second play. And that's what they practice, is always get to the turf and jump it right up. That's really the most important thing. And it took him like ages to get back into position after that first play. And I've done a little bit of analysis. I feel like between 4 and 6 points this season that we did not get are mostly down to him being the second best keeper on the pitch.
Ooh, yeah.
He's got to step it up. He's got some competition. We've got 2 other keepers, and I I haven't watched either of them yet. I have a feeling that we'll see Shwaki Tuesday night in Chattanooga.
Right.
See how good he is. And hopefully, if nothing else, just put pressure on Joe to pick up his performance. So, yeah, I'm ready for my Hell Naw. Yeah.
Let's do it.
This week, it's Alex Muyl. We talk all the time. Alex is chaos. And chaos, by definition, sometimes it's good and it works out for you, and sometimes it's bad.
Yeah.
It's all bad, Alex, this week. He was just scatterbrained all over the place. And a big part of the fact that we struggled in the first half was down to him not providing anything on the left side of the field. And obviously, Atlanta had watched tape of our game last week against Chicago where we dominated that right side, and they just overloaded the right side. They packed us in. Schaffelberg wasn't able to do much in behind because there was no in behind. There wasn't any space because they were playing so deep on that side. And Alex in our left side in the first half in particular were not able to provide that anything on that side that would make them worry. It's kind of like when you leave a guy who can't shoot threes wide open in basketball. That's what they were doing. They just weren't even bothering guarding our left side.
Right.
And luckily, in the second half, we made an adjustment. First of all, Lovitz got further up in the pitch and was helping out. We became more of a threat in the second half. So, yeah. Oh, hell no, Alex. You got to get more involved. You have to make the team that we're playing defend both sides of the field. We have to have equal attacking threats on both sides.
He's such a spaz. He is such a spaz. Yeah. But it was interesting. Yep. We subbed him out pretty early in the second half. Nashville of old, Nashville 1.0, never would have happened. Yeah. He would have gotten subbed out in the 88th minute. And he got subbed out for Qasim, who we've had a lot of criticism for.
No, he got subbed out for Perez.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah, and Schaffelberg switched over to the left side, and Perez was playing on the right. Perez had a pretty good game, I thought, coming off the bench.
You're right. I thought that too. I'm sorry. You're right. I'm totally mistaken. Qasim did come in for somebody at some point, didn't he?
He came in for Schaffelberg like around 75 or so.
Okay. So anyway, we talked about Schaffelberg playing on the right last week, how unusual that was. His natural place was over on the left. So then Perez comes in from Muyl. Schaffelberg moves over to that place where he's been more traditionally playing. And then we have this young guy, Johnny Longsleeves. He's been amazing. And I can't wait to see him wearing long sleeves in July soccer games. But it's like 100 degrees. Yeah, I do.
He's going to do it.
I'm looking forward to it. I got excited about Perez at the end of last season when he first joined the team. And every time he's on the pitch, he's not always spectacular or anything. But I get excited watching this kid. There's a lot of potential there. And he even got a good opportunity he created. And he's a lot of fun to watch. So imagine that. Imagine you have Schaffelberg over there on the left and then Perez on the right. That's a pretty good mix. That's a pretty good lineup there. And I don't know if Perez is ready to start yet or not, but maybe soon. I don't know. It looked good. All right. Now we can probably move on to the weekend preview.
There we go.
Busiest month for the boys in gold kicks into high gear this week. Fortunately, Nashville gets to spend the next couple of weeks playing only on their home field. First, they host the first U.S. Open Cup game on Tuesday night against another Tennessee team, the Chattanooga Red Wolves, who play in the USL. The Red Wolves so far this season have a record of 1 win, 1 loss, and 3 draws in the regular season. Nashville is expected to rest many of their starters in this game, and we will likely get a look at some of the younger talent on the roster. And then next weekend, Nashville will host Charlotte FC, who sit just ahead of Nashville in 5th place in the East with a record of 6 wins, 4 losses, and 1 draw, and a goal differential of +6. One of those wins, of course, was their win against Nashville in early April, a close affair that had the boys in gold ahead in the first half before giving up 2 goals once Walker Zimmerman suffered a scary head injury that has kept him out of play since. Charlotte has a balanced scoring attack with 3 different players netting 3 goals each this year. Charlotte is led by the dynamic Spanish midfielder Pep Biel, who has terrific finishing ability as well as a strong talent for setting up his teammates. The contest won't be easy, but a win for Nashville would vault them ahead of Charlotte in the Eastern Conference standings, so it's a key matchup for the team in the middle of what is a very busy part of the season. Okay, guys, as we look ahead, I'd like for you to maybe dig into your storage there and pull out the old crystal ball. John, we'll go to you first. gaze into your crystal ball. And what do you see for the team this week?
Oh, crystal ball, what do you hold in store for Nashville SC? I see within the crystal ball on Tuesday night against Chattanooga Red Wolves, we're going to stomp them.
Mm-hmm.
We're going to get to see a lot of Huntsville players I really feel in this game and the backups on the main roster. I think it's going to be a fun game to go to. I'm planning on going, and I don't know how many people are going to be there with me. Our attendance has not been great in Open Cups in the past.
Especially middle of the week game, too.
Yeah,
you know?
I mean, it's not ideal, especially like this school is still in session right now, but I think it will be a fun game to go to. I foresee 3-0, I'm going to call it, and I'm going to call goals by Johnny Perez.
Yes.
Ahmed Qassem.
Oh.
And here's the deep cut. Cayman Islands International Gunnar Studenhoft is going to come off the bench and score.
Wow.
Y'all think I'm making
Whoa.
this guy up? He's already scored 3 goals for Huntsville this season.
Oh, cool.
Nice.
By all accounts, a very talented player. I believe when we picked him up, I don't know if it was BJ or somebody kind of made the comment that the guy had Premier League athletic potential.
Whoa.
He's a big guy, and I think he's raw. Like, I don't know how long he's been playing the game, and so I hope that we get to see him. So that's my call, 3-0.
Is he a forward, this Gunner
Yeah,
kid?
he's a striker. Yep.
It's perfectly named, too.
Yeah, I know, right? And then Charlotte on Saturday. We're going to turn it around. They beat us 2-1 in Charlotte. We're going to win 2-1 on Saturday in the Music City. Goals from Hani Mukhtar, who I thought he played good.
Fantastic, actually. Yeah.
Yeah, I really did. I think he was creating a lot. I keep hearing people complain about turnovers, and I want to say something. I want Hani Mukhtar to lead the team in turnovers. You know why? He's our number 10. He should be trying shit.
Yeah.
If Yazbek or somebody was leading the team in turnovers, that'd be a problem. You don't want turnovers by the guys who are supposed to be playing the safe passes to keep possession. I want Hani Mukhtar trying shit. I want him probing, and your number 10 should always be leading the team in turnovers. I guarantee from 2006 to 2020, I bet every year Lionel Messi was in the top 10 in La Liga in turnovers because he tried shit.
Yeah. Sure.
That's what you want your number 10 to do. So I don't mind the turnovers with Hani as long as he's trying things. I mind it when he flops if he has a chance to advance. That's annoying. But I think he played pretty well Saturday, and I think he's going to keep it going. He's going to score against Charlotte. And let's say big Jason Palacios is going to get another header. He was impressive again Saturday, too.
Amazing.
Sure was.
Yes.
Yeah. So that's what I'm calling.
John, I want to push back on the Hani turnover thing just a little bit because
yeah. Let's get spicy.
I'm not opposed to turnovers as a result of Hani being creative and trying stuff and taking risks.
Yeah.
That doesn't bother me. What bothers me so much is when he turns it over when he's trying to just receive a pass. So often we're trying to fit the ball into him and he loses it immediately. He gets challenged and he gets muscled off of it. He gets knocked down, whatever. And that stuff drives me crazy. I just want us to adjust our game plan and try and get the ball to him in space rather than when he's being guarded closely. I know that's tough to do because he's always being guarded closely.
Well, we certainly did that in the second half. And a lot of that will come down to him working. He has to come back and he has to find those middle spaces in between lines, in between the defensive and the midfield line. He has to do the work to get open in those spaces. And he was doing that in the second half. Obviously, a team gets more tired as the game goes on.
Yeah.
And he was very successful in finding those spaces in the second half.
Sure.
But yeah, I agree. He was turning it over whenever he would touch the ball in the first half. So
that mess drives me crazy. So, I don't mind him leading the team in turnovers as long as they are productive turnovers. So we should create our new stat, productive turnovers, PTs.
Trademark it. Let's get paid for this shit.
Yeah, why not? We're professionals. All right. Evan, do you have anything in your crystal ball different than what John saw?
Well, let me pull it off of my charging cable here. I went ahead and pushed through my software update that was pending and long overdue. Yes, as I gaze into it, I see a similar result in the Red Wolves game. I see 3-0 in our favor. However, in my crystal ball, I see Taylor Washington, Brian Acosta, and Teal Bunbury getting those goals.
Nice.
Love it.
And then I do see the only thing similar in my Charlotte prediction is I do see us winning that game. We're going to win 3-2, however.
Ooh.
And those goals are going to come from our top 3 attacking threats, Super Sam, Hani Mukhtar, and Jacob Schaffelberg.
Very nice.
Love it.
I'd love to see it. I noticed that for the first time in maybe a month or two, you guys have not predicted Eddi Tagseth will score.
Yeah.
We're trying to wish it into existence by not saying
Yeah,
it.
right. You're
Yeah.
the old reverse jinx. I know what you're up to. Yeah. All right. Well, either way, I'm happy with the result. Love the predictions. Thank you guys so much. And now I guess we better wrap things up. I'm almost to the end of my beer, so we better say goodbye. But before we do, John, people want to talk to us.
Oh, yeah.
They definitely want to talk to us. So how in the world can people get in touch with us and share their feelings and innermost desires with us?
Oh, my God, Ryan. It's so easy. We are Electric Gold NSC. We are on Instagram. We are on Facebook. We are on X, formerly Twitter. Just talk to us. And I got to say, we got a lot of good feedback this week. We got a lot of sweet feedback this week.
Oh.
And I am really touched by a lot of the responses to last week's episode. Y'all know who you are, and it's really lovely that you are listening and responding. I can't thank you enough. I love all of our listeners, and we're so lucky to have you. We hope for a few more of you guys.
Yeah.
And just anybody out there, like if you haven't talked to us yet and you're listening, just give us a shout. Tell us where we're wrong. Tell us where we're right. Give us your opinions. We'd love to read them. We're going to have the mailbag again in a future episode coming up soon. So give us those opinions. We love them.
Share your Aw Hell Yes, your Aw Hell Naws. We won't forget them. Share your Nashville hot chicken takes. We'll be glad to debate them on the podcast. Well, thank you, John. Evan, thank you as well. And thank you, everyone who listened. We really appreciate it. In the meantime, we've got a lot of games coming up, so it's important you keep tuning in, keep supporting the boys, keep cheering them on. And for God's sakes, please keep on saying it. Come on, you boys in gold.
Come on, you boys, and go!
Dreams on Friday nights, electric vibes and stories told. Come on, you boys in gold. Waves of laughter in the air, podcast pals without a care. Sharing glorious thoughts out loud. Come on, you boys in gold. Waves of laughter in the air, podcast pals without a care. Sharing glorious thoughts out loud. Come on, you boys in gold. Electric gold.
Hang on. Time. Chattanooga? There's a professional soccer team in Chattanooga? Who knew? All right, Scenic City, you want some? Come and get some. Scenic City, where the best thing to do is to look away from it. It's like if Asheville had a lobotomy and a vape shop addiction. You're surrounded by natural beauty, and you still manage to build a city that feels like a truck stop with a little bit of ambition. People don't hike in Chattanooga for the views. They're just trying to escape. You're still bragging about a train song from the 1940s. That was your peak? Come on. It's where the tourism board's top flex is, we used to have a functional rail system. You built an entire identity around a train that literally doesn't run anymore. It's just like your downtown after 8 p.m. In Chattanooga, it's where hipster dreams go to die and overpriced Airbnbs. It's the only city where a craft brewery, a yoga studio, and a vape shop all share the same parking lot, and it's still empty. You've got a startup scene made entirely of people who failed in Atlanta. The downtown has big, we gentrified one block and called it a district energy. You have high-speed internet, but low-speed everything else. Your traffic isn't just bad. It's slow because every third car is a lifted truck trying to parallel park. Chattanooga feels like someone halfway through designing a city got bored and said, nah, that's good enough. You're Tennessee's in-between stop. Nobody starts or ends their trip in Chattanooga unless they ran out of gas. Your idea of nightlife is like a craft cocktail bar that closes at 9:45 p.m. sharp. You've been up and coming for like 20 years now. When's it going to happen? Your city slogan should be Chattanooga. It's fine. Probably. Well, look, Chattanooga, you guys are coming to the big city now. The big show. Coming to Geodis Park, and it's not going to end well for you, I'm sorry to say. but we'll welcome you with open arms anyway. We've got something real special for you. It sounds like this.
Chattanooga, choo-choo, cho-cho. You suck, red wolves. Nobody watches you, nobody likes you, nobody wants you to exist. You're a bad dream, you're a figment of our imaginations, and you simply must die now. Wipe our butts, wipe our beautiful Nashville butts. Wipe our butts forever, wipe our butts until you die.